The opinions expressed in the following are solely those of the speaker and is not suitable for medical advice, diagnosis, or care.
Hey, welcome to CPAP Choice. Hey, that was seriously funny stuff making that video. You know, if you looked at the end there, I started to crack up. The reason is what you didn't see was on the other side of my mouth, it wasn't facing the camera. You know, there's just big pieces of drool were flying everywhere. So, hey, it's funny now. It isn't so so funny when it happens at night. You know, it's called mouth flutter. And you know, it's the bane of everyone who wears a nasal mask. Is, you know, whether the pressure gets too high and you just, you know, blow out through your own lips. You know, it can be as flappy as that one. That's the one that my wife, you know, she rolls over and hits me for. But or it can be just, you know, I filmed another section that didn't make the cut. You know, it was just out in my lips. And you know, I'd rather have the little, you know, the quieter leak than the flutter. But hey, the flutter's as worse as it gets. Okay, so today we're talking about a workaround. Now, what's a workaround? A workaround isn't the best thing to do, but in a pinch, it'll work. And there's a couple of different ways that that you can actually get rid of this. You know, the first one I recommend that you try first, but to be honest, it only works 50% of the time. And that's to get a chin strap. And the chin straps, I mean, you know, one of the bad things is the good ones are expensive, and there's lots of bad ones out there that you know, they'll cut across your ears. That's one of the things you want to watch when you're getting a chin strap. There's some that have a triangular cutout that comes forward, and not only does it hold your mouth up, so because there's no, you know, if you don't have a forehead, you're just gonna, you know, rubber band your nose, but you know, really they fit towards the back of your head, and they keep your jaw pulled up. So, you know, that's exactly the opposite thing that you want to do, you know, for clearing your airway for CPAP. You know, these dental devices pull your jaw forward, and here you are getting a chin strap that's pulling it up and back. So this is just a workaround. Like I said, you know, if you can use a chin strap, do that. That's, you know, it's not the cheapest way. This isn't too cheap either. You know, I'll get into the cost, you know, of tape and stuff, and, you know, hey, what's the best? But really, you know, if this is you at night, and, you know, your therapy is being disturbed by this lip fluttering, by leaking out of your mouth, or you know, and you can't get around it with a chin strap, you know, the chin straps are only a 50% of the time deal. You know, I mean, I tried to use one, and quite frankly, it didn't work for me. You know, it stopped the, you know, the major, you know, flutters like that. Yeah, I still would get major flutters with it actually, but the one that would especially get me is where I just open these lips up enough, and my tongue would come down to the bottom of my mouth, and I just, you know, not hiss, not whistle. You know, it wasn't that bad, but it was enough to disturb your sleep. And you know, one of the things I found about it is this is only for a time. Like I said, it's a workaround. You know, if anything, I noticed that I get trained. My mouth gets trained as I you know, as I use the nasal mask more and more. You know, I went through an auto PAP retitration. They upped me a pound, and right away, here I was lip fluttering again. And you know, I didn't know it. You know, the fact is, my wife knew it, and my leak rate went up on my machine. If you have a data-capable machine, you watch your leak rate, and my leak rate was through the roof. And you know, I wake up dry mouth. You know, it's one of the things about lip fluttering. It gives you a dry mouth. You know, it takes the humidity right out of your humidifier. And so if you wake up and your humidifier is totally empty, and you're only on, you know, settings of, you know, low settings of humidity, hey, you might be mouth fluttering, and you know, you might be leaking out of your mouth. So, you know, while the chin strap is only 50% effective, I'll tell you what, you know, mouth tape, when it stays on all night, and most of the time it does, especially with some of the tips I'll give you here, you know, it's a 100% deal. Now, there's some safety considerations. We'll hit those safety considerations in a little bit, but let me show you the basics. And you know, it's you know, hanging out on forums and everything. You know, I went to my doctor's office and I said, well, you know, I tape. You know, she's like, oh my gosh. You know, she'd only heard of one other person that had done it. But to be frank, you know, I don't think that they see the worst cases there all the time. You know, they see a mixed bag. But when you're looking at forums and other places where people are seeking help for this difficult treatment, that's where you find people who are, quite frankly, desperate enough to get some mouth tape going. So what kind of tape is this? On the forum sites, hey, I've heard of people using duct tape, trying electrical tape, Scotch tape, the Christmas wrapping tape, and I'm like, good grief. Get something that's used for it. This is 3-inch paper tape. It's a medical tape, and it's specifically designed for taping your skin. Now, there's some special precautions to take with your lips, but this is one of the gentlest tapes that they use in the medical field. They have that little perforated plastic tape. That stuff's too rough too. I mean, if you ever had that on for an IV or anything like that, where it's holding something on, or I think during the the sleep appointment, the adhesive went out of those things, and you get that tape on there. Oh my gosh, it'll like to tear your skin off. This is also really gentle on your face. And so this is the mildest tape, the mildest medical tape that they have. I'd stick with the medical tapes. Duct tape wasn't made for lips. Okay, it wasn't made for skin. And so if you're sensitive in that area, I'm pretty sensitive to my face. In fact, whenever I shave, I have to shave in the shower just because I break out underneath here. So if you got a sensitive face, hey, this paper tape is really good. The bad part is that this is pretty expensive. It's about $4 or $5 a roll when you go to Walmart. You go to Walgreens, someplace like that, you're going to get more expensive on it. But, $4 a roll, this has lasted me 3 months, of on and off use. There's a 3 weeks there where I tape continually. There's about a week after the pressure change, just till I got used to the pressure and used to keeping my mouth closed under those conditions. So, this might not be a permanent thing for you, and I hope it isn't. But when chin straps fail you, which I tried to chin strap, it was too uncomfortable. I mean, I get mask lines just the way it is from my CPAP mask. Trying the chin strap was even worse. I mean, it messed me up. So what do you do with this? Well, the first thing, and this is the real how-to meat of this, is I select a piece that's big enough not just to cover my lips, but one of the hard areas to cover is going to be the corners. Here can keep pretty well closed, but the corners, you're going to drool out of the corners. It's going to get really rough. Hey, I'm really sensitive right here because this isn't even an area where I shave, so I like to get this out, further than just the corner of my mouth. So the 3-inch stuff is big enough to cover from underneath my nose to about down here, and I'll show you what you do with this. Now, you just don't pull off a piece and slap it on. Because even though this is a really gentle tape, it's still hard to get off, especially if it's been sitting on there all night. If you're an active sleeper like me, you're laying on the sides, it's pressing it in, and when you want a good seal, but at the same time, when you wake up, this is a bear to get off. So here's what I do. The first thing I do is I roll these corners back, and what this does is it gives you a place where in the morning, where on the edges there's no adhesive, and there's no adhesive sticking out. I just doubled it over. There's no adhesive sticking out to stick to your pillow, pull it off during the night. And so there's a dual use here. The first one is that it gives you a place to get hold of it and to get it off in the morning if you need to get it off in a hurry if the power goes out. We'll cover that in the safety section